In 1974, the first tabletop role-playing game was created. Since then, people from all around have gathered to play. Join me as we talk with RPG enthusiasts while they share their best, worst, and favorite moments. This is You Had to Be There.
Hey everyone, welcome to You Had to Be There, a D&D storytelling podcast. I have a kind of an interesting episode today. I have been very busy doing comedy and living also my life, and the summer's been crazy. And I have my cousin, Paul Pergolizzi here, who also plays D&D. We're in the same room. I split the camera if you're watching this live and it's weird. But yeah, so we're going to talk about our fun stories. We have what's kind of fun about us is we started playing around the same time but didn't know. So you were, how far into the pandemic when you finally started playing again?
I think we started playing. I actually joined an existing group that was formed by one of my buddies from high school and his college friends.
Okay.
And I think I joined the group probably like May of 2020, so really not long into the pandemic.
Yeah, almost exactly the same time I started, which is really funny. And we both didn't know that we were both playing until like a year later, almost, I think.
I think it was maybe even Christmas of 2021.
It was when I started this podcast.
Yeah.
Because you showed up and you're like, so that podcast you do. And I was like, wait, have you been playing? And yeah. So did you know that they played in college? Was it something that you knew that they did?
My buddy Calvin, who I've known since we were in like middle school, played baseball together, growing up, all that.
Yeah.
He mentioned it to me a few times.
Right.
And this was like after college, and then one of their group members dropped out because he was very literal the way he took everything, and he didn't understand that he could be creative.
Yeah.
And they said there was a spot, and I figured, why not? I have nothing else to do. It's the friggin' pandemic. I'm sitting at home going crazy, only talking to my dog, so I might as well play.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And it is cool because while like we are cousins, we're kind of very different, where like you are very heavy into like sports and stuff, so it really also abolishes that stupid stigma that like it's for nerds, because I mean, you're also a creative person. We've played board games together literally our entire lives. So, and you've always been kind of more on like this fun, silly, creative side. So when you like started, did you come up with a plan, or did you did you make, so you play Tabaxi Bard, right?
Yeah, I'm a Tabaxi Bard, and
Just a little closer to you. Go ahead.
I'd say, yeah, I mean, growing up, I feel like we were a little different, but we always got along because we could always play any sort of game together and have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And I always think back on like even just dumb stuff like pretending to be Shaq and Kobe in your backyard.
Yeah,
that was kind of like role playing.
Heavy imagination.
But yeah.
And we used to even we always liked that movie Zoolander, and recently I rewatched Zoolander and cackled for the entirety of the movie, and I was like, we would always imitate that and like kind of do our own version of those characters. So,
and all those iconic quotes from Zoolander that we could.
So when you made your So when you made your Tabaxi Bard, did you have like a plan of character, or were you not sure what you were?
Yeah,
because you picked a less usual class than most people pick.
Yeah, so our DM, he kind of walked me through character creation, and we use Roll20. I don't know if you've ever used that.
I've used it once, for some things.
He kind of walked me through picking my class, my race, all that stuff, and even had me write like a little backstory for my character and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm still kind of a noob. I'm still learning all the different classes and the different things I could be. But right now, Tabaxi Bard, and I think I'm multi-class. I'm like level 2 Warlock. Because I sold part of my soul for some power-ups.
So you got a deal?
Yeah, I had to sell 51 soul coins, so a little bit more than half my soul, and then I got like Eldritch Blast and a few other like small power ups and more HP, and then as I keep leveling up, I can become more of a spellcaster too. Because I mean, early on, being new to the game and being a bard, I was just like getting knocked unconscious every fight.
Were you just going in to hit things?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any way to contribute in a battle because had like 35 hit points, and
What spells did you take in the beginning?
so I have what did I had cure wounds, like I could do that.
That's fine. That's important.
But our first mission when I joined, our first like quest, we fought a dragon, and
you went right into
I
Dungeons and
very
Dragons.
quickly was like, this game is hard.
Yeah.
Because like I think I got knocked out like in one hit from the dragon, and I was just sitting there like, crap.
So wait, what level did you start off then? When you
started off level 5, I think.
Oh, it must have been a small dragon then.
Yeah, it was a poisonous green dragon, I think.
Okay. That's still tough for a level 5.
Yeah, and we were all level 5 at that point. So, but we did beat it. So
you had, I mean, yeah, bards are kind of weird because I don't even like them that much, even though I play in one right now. But because depending on how you build it, it's much more of a support character.
Right.
So it's more like helping buffing your party or doing spells to kind of hinder the enemy's attacks and stuff, which is a hard thing to grasp around, especially if you never really played any games like that.
Right. I think if I could go back, I would have started as like a warlock or something, just because I'm too dumb and too aggressive to just sit back and support. Like, I want to be in the fight, even if it means I'm going to get knocked out in 2 turns.
You want to kind of more get in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get high enough levels, there's things like polymorph, where you could just turn yourself into like a T-Rex or something.
Yeah. I've got like a very low level of that right now, where I can basically just disguise myself as whatever I want.
Disguise self is good.
So I like to try to, if we're going into a market and we know there's like Dragonborns are behind the counter, I'll turn myself into I'll look like a Dragonborn
Try to
when
get
I
a
go
little
in there to try to like grease the wheels a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a really hard skill to learn. So that, especially when you like people who start out, because I had a hard time with the social aspect. I was a gamer forever, so like the combat stuff was easy to me, easier at least. It was the being willing to role play.
Yeah,
is harder. So what are you guys up to now? Like what level are you now? You've been playing for
we're level 8 now, so
you've only gone 2 levels in 2 years.
Might be 9.
It's
9. It's slow. I mean, we play like every other week now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
a lot of
and we probably would have leveled up faster, but we're kind of dumb. We keep getting sidetracked.
Dumb party?
Yeah, our DM is always like, well, I didn't expect you to get in a fight with the entire market, but
right.
Here we go.
There you go.
You know, we tried to, one of our earlier adventures, we were in this tournament in a town, I don't know if you've heard of El Terrell.
Yes, okay.
So we were in like this basically, gladiatorial tournament that everybody had a team, and then the winner got like big reward at the end. But the city guard didn't like us because we were constantly causing scenes throughout the town.
Ruckus, yeah.
I think, one of our party mates got caught peeing in an alley for no reason other than he wanted to. There was no necessity behind it.
Just a lot of chaos then.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And they stole a lot of our weapons, and we came up with this cockamamie plan to try to get our weapons back. And one of our party members has invisibility.
Okay.
So this was the first time we've tried invisibility. We've done it 3 or 4 times since in various different heists that we've tried to plan. But 2 of us went in with invisibility on, but if we attack or do any sort of spell, it drops.
Yeah.
So we were trying to be very, very sneaky and get in there. We got all the way to the weapons vault, and then the door got closed. So we had to try to like blast our way out, and then we got caught and imprisoned, and then our party members tried to come rescue us. And essentially we were trying to get our own stuff back, but we were basically trying to rob an armory.
Right.
And like our DM decided that was not going to happen. He wasn't going to let us get like successfully do it. But our other party members, like 3 of them, did like 800 HP worth of damage and killed like 30
just whittled
town
their way
guard,
through
just
the...
like it was crazy. Like they were hitting nat 20s and like going
just ripping through to save you?
just ripping through to save us. But you know, at the end our DM was like, that was just such a stupid plan that I couldn't let you get away with it. But if there was like a set amount, you probably would have gotten out because you guys were just like on fire. But that was one of, I think, my favorite sessions.
But you were watching from the jail cell pretty much?
Yeah, we were just kind of like sitting there like, come on guys,
help,
you can do it.
We got it. Cheering on the buddies.
Yeah, and then they got imprisoned with us.
Oh.
Because our DM wasn't going to let us completely bail ourselves out of
that.
The
odds are very slim regardless.
Then bailed us out by having this other cast of side characters that we had met in the town come and rescue us.
Rescue you? Yeah, that's good.
By the time we came out, it was our town had been brought down to down to Avernus through some spell.
Oh.
And now it became Helterel. So now we're in Avernus right now trying to save the town, but we're also doing a whole bunch of other stuff because we've kind of forgotten about the town because we've been down there for a while.
Do you know like what the main, was it like a god? Like
it's like some contract between Zariel, I think the god is, and then somebody else that we've gotten bits and pieces of the backstory, but we're still not totally sure what happened.
Wow.
But we're trying to save the town.
It's all homebrewed?
Yeah.
Homebrew world. That's cool. What do you think, so now that you're going into Warlock, you've taken levels in Warlock, or is he just kind of homebrewing that too?
I'm level 2 or 3 Warlock and then level 5.
Oh, okay. So you multi-classed a while ago.
6, I think, of Bard. So I have some pretty decent spells now that can deal. I have Firewall, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Which does like, I think it's 40-10. And then it's just this big firewall that you can set.
Wall of fire.
Like,
you can shape it, right?
Wall of fire, and you can shape it, and I can decide where I want it, so I can kind of block off other enemies, or I can...
That's a very good spell.
So it's come in handy a lot. And then Phantasmal Killer, I think, is the other one, which is basically like... It's like Vicious Mockery, but like way souped up, where you're like... You kind of just get to mock whoever it is, and it does, I think, 5d8 or something that. But... Previously, and I've gotten some good weapons as we've been fighting. So,
are you a College of Lore Bard?
I think College of Swords.
Oh, you are College of Swords with the flourishes, the different maneuvers.
So
that's the one that I have. I like it a lot. That one's different, which is good because you can play that more
offensive.
You know what you really should take when you get the chance, if you like being more of a melee bard. I took the spell Mirror Image. I don't know if you have that.
I don't have it. But...
So it's not concentration, but you split yourself into 4 different forms.
Ooh, I'd love that.
And when you get hit, if an attack beats your armor class, you roll your d20, and the first one is you have to roll over a 6. If you roll over a 6, the attack hits one of your duplicates. Then you lose one. The next one you have to roll over a 10. If you roll over a 10, you lose your duplicate. But if you get hit, you don't lose your duplicate. You just... So I've eaten crits before with my College of Swords Bard, and then what you could do is you go in with the Mirror Image and you do that defensive flourish and add to your armor class, so you can like stand in the middle and like really just kind of like not get hit.
I'm definitely gonna need to next time we level up.
Next time you level up, although I think you have to take a level in Bard to swap those.
That makes sense.
But I don't know if Warlocks can get it. We can look that up after. Yeah. Look that up after the.
Or some research.
It's always something. That's cool. What do you... So then, how many people do you play with?
We have 6 people, counting our DM, and he usually just plays as like a side character that becomes like a temporary member of the crew for whatever fight we're in or whatever. Right now, it's like an angelic elephant, like a mini elephant named Lulu, who has like amazing healing powers. Essentially,
that's good.
Which we need because we constantly get ourselves in trouble. So
I mean, I think it's a DM's job sometimes to see how the party plays and fill in those gaps if you need.
Yeah, he's really good at making it challenging every time we get ourselves into a stupid fight, but also, he he doesn't seem like he is going to just TPK us, even though there's times where we've probably deserved that.
Have you had anyone like die yet or no?
We did have we have a stone of
Revivify?
Yeah, something like so. We have had one team member die, and then we were able to bring them back.
That's good.
So we haven't lost anybody yet, but I think sometime sooner or later we probably will, because we just get in trouble every time we play.
Sound like a big chaos party, which is fun. What other what do you have in the party?
So we have a Bugbear Barbarian.
That's a good
and
one.
He's kind of our,
Bugbarian, as I like to refer to.
That's pretty good. So we make a lot of puns, and by we, mostly me.
Yeah.
And another one of our buddies. And our DM always jokingly says, "All right, 1 psychic damage for any time we make
every
a stupid pun." But that's Bugbarian's a new one, and I'll have to bring that in. Next time. And he's kind of our tank. Like, he is always just walking up to whoever the big baddie is.
And he's got the reach too.
Yeah, and he'll rage, and then he gets 3 attacks, and he just
berserker probably.
Yeah. So he just does tons of damage. We have a tiefling. I forget what her class is, but she's really, really good with the bow and just does like distance attacks.
Gotcha.
Basically,
a ranger or a rogue.
Yeah,
probably.
I think it's
or
a
both.
rogue.
Sometimes
I think
it's both,
she's a rogue. We've got my buddy Calvin is also a bard.
Oh, double bard.
He's a dragonborn.
Okay.
And then I'm blanking on what our buddy Aaron is, but I know he does a lot of support, so he might be a warlock, but he has a lot more like of a support role. Like, he just is like healing.
There's like
spells
celestial warlocks, which have healing
that sounds
stuff.
right, because he's got like the halo or something above his thing.
That's cool.
On his so yeah, that's kind of what we got in our party.
So a lot of charisma.
We should have more charisma based on our builds,
stat wise.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of charisma, a lot of.
Did everyone dump intelligence?
Pretty much.
Was it the dump stat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Especially like, I don't know.
My stealth is just off the charts.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm a very sneaky
You have a stealth
little cat.
sneaky bard? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I have my bard. My College of Swords bard is stealthy, sneaky, but
an idiot.
Charismatic, yes. Very big idiot. Yeah. Yeah. And usually you have so many charisma based characters, so I knew right away that probably intelligence, because it's always either intelligence or charisma that most people dump. They're just like, I don't need that one.
Yeah.
We did a one shot recently, and there was 5 or 6 people, and everyone dumped intelligence. And the campaign went on for like another hour and a half longer than it should have, just because they didn't know where to go. And I kept trying to give them hints by making them roll intelligence checks, and they were just like, and I'm like,
just kidding, like,
sure, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. And then I was like, so you guys wander around for an hour, make the checks again. And then finally I was like, one of you realized like, oh wait, this wasn't what we were supposed to do at all. But you did play, have you played other, because we did the Christmas one shot. Where you played your barbarian for the first time. Or you played a barbarian for the first time. Did you play any other characters after that?
No, so that's the only other character I played so far. I think I was David the Goliath.
David the Goliath.
That was a fun one shot.
Yes, yeah. It was Winter's Splendor for anyone who is interested. I got it from a friend who got it on the DM's Guild, I think. And I like themed one shots a lot. We do them for our regular group. I just find it fun, because then it's another thing to try. What did you think of the barbarian in comparison?
It was fun. I mean, I think that's more my style of just like running in there without really thinking of the consequences and swinging away and seeing what happens. But
nice.
So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do when my current character, if he dies or anything, if I'll
next what on
I'll
the
do
agenda.
next. Probably a barbarian or something like that. Or I mean, I know you described to me artificers. That sound pretty cool to me, and having the little companion by your side.
The cannon. Well, there's a ton. So the battle master, you get like a metallic, actually, like it could be like a metal dog.
yeah, that's probably where I'd want to go.
Actually, that was what Nicole played.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nicole played one
in the one shot, right?
Yes,
yeah.
in the one shot. So Nicole, past guest, friend of mine, played an artificer for the Christmas one shot because it was you and your sister, my other cousin Sarah, and she never played before. I was like, we need one more person, which was good. Yeah, so that was a battle smith, I believe. Yeah, I've played 2 other artificers. The artillerist gets a little cannon that you can either put down and it walks around, and then the armor, you're just Iron Man, pretty much. Yeah, like literally just Iron Man. That one's cool, but it is more depending on which one you're doing. So like the battlesmith probably is more frontliney because you have that support.
Yeah.
But then there's also an alchemist, which is much more support. The artillerist is more ranged, but then the armor is like really close up and personal. So yeah, it's a very flexible class. Gotcha. Very cool. That one's good. What other ones interest you?
I mean, I like a lot of the spells that have become available to me as a warlock.
Yes.
So I think that would be fun to explore more, especially because I'm only like a level 2 or 3 warlock.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure as we go up and up the levels, it just becomes.
Yeah, and I haven't played a warlock yet, but you get the Eldritch like invocations.
Yeah, I've got Eldritch Blast right now. That's the only Eldritch thing I have, I think.
I don't know when those kick in.
And that, that's pretty good to have because if I don't really have a melee weapon anymore because I traded my scimitars in for a pretty cool crossbow.
Oh, okay.
That has like a few different types of bolts too.
Okay.
So I figured that the scimitars didn't do much damage anyway. So I should probably, as much as I like being up close and personal, I should probably use I have a Boots of the Mist as well, so I can kind of be a little sneakier if I get caught in a melee situation. I can get out of it quick without giving an attack of opportunity, and then I can hit him with one of my ranged weapons because I have the crossbow, which has, I think, 5 different types of bolts.
That's awesome.
Like poison, paralyze, sticky, or something like that, where you can kind of, like a web comes off it and it holds them down.
Very cool.
I think there's an exploding one, and then I forget what the 5th one is. I've only had it for
Do you have to buy more of those particular arrows, or do they make
so
them?
Essentially, I have 2 of each, and I can use 2 a day of each kind.
Oh, okay.
So once I shoot them, I don't have it again for that day, but kind of the logic is I go pick it up, and I refill it over our long rest or whatever.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good.
So then I also have a necrotic dagger that is good because it's a returning dagger. So I throw it.
Oh, I need those.
It it sticks in them, and if I leave it in, it does extra damage. And then I can recall it with a bonus action. So I'll often throw that at the beginning of a fight into like the big bad, and it does like 2d8 every turn.
That's good.
If it's still in them for, I think, up to 3 turns.
I need that for my College of Swords Bard.
It's a good one. Yeah, that was one of the first weapons I purchased as we were.
I multi-classed my College of Sword into Rogue because he's similar Dexter like yours. Here's a fun fact that your DM might hate for me telling you. So your Blade Flourishes as the College of Swords Bard does not specify you have to hit them with a melee attack. So I don't know if you've been doing this, but you can use your Blade Flourishes on ranged weapons because it just says the next time you hit with an attack. So if you want to rule play your DM, if you want to be like, now the handbook does say, technically,
the language states.
The only one I don't think you would be able to do would be the slashing one because it said you have to hit an enemy within 5 feet of you. I think the mechanic way is you like spinning around like Legend of Zelda style and hitting other ones. But the pushing one you could do with the arrow, and the defensive one you could do with the arrow, I believe. So your DM might bust that, but mine didn't because it said it in the rules. It says on the next attack. It doesn't say the next melee attack.
That's true.
My friend busted it originally. I did a one shot with him. He's like, it just says attack. And I was like, that sucks, but okay. And then I was like, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a try. I think, based on my experience with my DM, he would let it fly.
Probably.
If I came up with something like that, he'd probably be excited that I...
It's not game breaking either. It's just your level... If you're a level 6 bard or whatever, then that would mean you have like D8s, right, for your inspirations?
Yeah, D8.
not game breaking.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Do you think? Do you know how long this one's gonna go for? How long he plans to have you guys run this campaign?
So another one of our buddies is talking about being the DM next, so that our
that's
current
good.
DM can get
Playtime.
get to and so he's kind of been putting out feelers for what type of campaign we'd like to do next. So I think this one I would estimate probably a few more months. We probably got a decent because
Give or take some chaos. Yeah.
We keep getting sidetracked. I'm sure this was probably planned to be through this part of the story, 6 months ago. But
yeah,
in the not too distant future, we'll switch over to a new campaign. So
it's awesome.
And I think at that point we are gonna all do new characters.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for that, but also it's bittersweet because it's like you get attached to your character. But
did you like what? Because I find sometimes you like kind of figure out stuff about your character as you go. So like, what is your bard like other than stealthy and a little too aggressive?
He thinks he's a player, but he fails pretty miserably.
Okay, that's good.
Every time we interact with the women folk, he
tries but
he
fails.
tries
most
but
of the
fails. Yeah, and he's pretty short tempered. He
he gets mad.
Yeah, he was a
so he's like a cat.
Yeah, he lashes out a little bit.
All right.
He was a former pirate, and he lost his ship through a mutiny, as pirates tend to do. So he has trust issues.
Okay.
And that shows up with our crew a lot. He also
really?
thinks he's the captain of the crew.
Thanks.
But nobody else thinks he's the captain of the crew. So, and you can't trust him with money because he's really bad.
Really bad.
He's not very frugal, especially with soul coins. I'm not very smart.
Right,
He's
yes.
not very smart with his soul coins. I think he's down to like 9 soul coins.
So is that a homebrew thing that your DM does? I kind of brushed over it. Soul coins.
Yeah. So essentially, each character has 100 soul coins to start your life or whatever.
Okay.
And they're like 1% of your soul. Essentially,
Gotcha.
You could think of it that way. So,
my gosh.
my character sold half his soul for some cool powers.
Okay.
And then I think I sold various other portions of my soul for like cool weapons that we've picked up along the way. And
so
I'm down to like 9 coins like still in me, but I've also picked up like 30, but we don't know how to put the coins back in me. So I'm just holding them right now.
But you have someone else's soul coins.
Yeah.
This is super complicated.
We've acquired other soul coins through various dealings.
Do you know what happens if you take someone else's soul coins and use
we
them?
don't know that, and that's why I haven't just like
I'm gonna just
them or whatever.
put
Yeah.
the soul coins in.
So we're trying. We ask a lot of demons and devils as we've gone
Like,
around.
hey, do you know anything about
Avernus being like, how do I get these back in me? And nobody will give us an answer. So they just want us to give them the coins essentially.
Yeah, and then what happens if you have no soul coins?
I think you just like
Die?
oh, okay. No, so essentially, whoever owns the majority of your soul coins when you die, you become an eternal slave to them. So right now, there's a demon that we sold half my soul to at the beginning. If I die, I will be his slave eternally.
Yeah, because half is a big chunk. So
Yeah.
and
I
it
think
sounds
he
like
has
the rest was
51,
all.
So
So he's got it locked in.
yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
So
51% of this.
So that's why I wasn't
and
worried about
soul.
selling the other ones, because I was like, well, I already sold half my soul.
That's why you got to be smart like my bard and just sell off the souls of your unborn children, because that's what my bard did.
I should have tried that.
Yeah, my
Dang.
bard. That's kind of was my bard thing. Is he made deals? He was like, oh, I just won't have kids. That's my solution to this, and I'll just sell their souls. And now he has to save one.
Yeah.
And that's
We had after I sold my soul.
Yeah.
We had some adventures with a group of vampires, and I toyed.
Oh, that's cool.
I toyed around with the idea of becoming a vampire, because then I'd be immortal. So I sold my soul, and when I die, I'd be an eternal slave. But if I never die,
Right.
but I could technically die. Just I wouldn't be able to die by. I'd have to die by non-natural causes as a vampire. Like if I was a vampire, I
Right.
could still be killed, and then I would still be a slave.
That's true.
So it wouldn't be that, but it would help me in the event that I was playing it safe and not getting into a bunch of fights every time we go out. But
I would have weighed the pros and cons on that to become a vampire.
And my crew did not want me to become a vampire. They felt that would only end poorly for all of them. So
maybe. Yeah, it depends how they play it. I don't know, because sometimes you can't control those things.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to be on my friend's podcast. I think we're going to be doing like a Vampire the Masquerade, which is a different form. It's a D10 system, I think. You just roll D10s. I'll show you the dice he made me after, but you play vampires and you're supposed to keep up the masquerade while also doing like, it seems a little bit more like investigative and like kind of
murder mystery-y.
Not murder mystery, more like a lot of people do it. Like there's one called like LA by Night and stuff, and it's more like crime, like you're in the crime scene, like very Blade-esque. I don't know if you ever saw Blade, but every time you make a roll, you also roll a hunger dice, and if you get too many, you lose your like in
your
touch,
ability.
and you have to feed.
Yeah.
And you have to determine like you want to feed without actually killing the person. But sometimes, if you lose control, you can
morbid time.
Yeah, it becomes morbid time. I didn't see that movie.
You can't hold it back. I haven't either, but the memes and the
yes, it is morbid time.
You can't avoid.
I don't know much about it. I'm a fan of Matt Smith because he was in Doctor Who, and all I know right now is that he has no idea what morbid time is about because he's British and he's like, what?
I saw some interview with him where he was talking about how someone brought up Morbid Time and the memes, and he was just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I don't really care. It seems like he had fun, it seems like, based on what I've seen from the trailers and stuff.
Listen, sometimes...
And I'm sure it was a nice payday and worth it for him, but...
There's a problem, I think, sometimes with actors is it's not their fault if they got booked on a crappy movie.
Yeah, it's not Hayden Christensen's fault that
they
George
didn't
Lucas
write the best form of
those
Anakin,
movies that way. But, he's the one who catches all the flack for it.
Yes.
It's definitely not fair. So.
Although, even though, I don't even know if it was his voice, but the character in Clone Wars, if you watch that, made you kind of like his character a bit more. If you didn't watch it.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because there's the animated series.
Yeah, I've heard, and agree with the take that, that characterization of Anakin is like the one...
Better.
Is what we should have gotten in the movies.
Well,
because it's like the Anakin we see in the movies, it was just so blatantly obvious that he was going to turn out to be Darth Vader. Like, well, I mean, obviously we knew, but to have it be a surprise to Obi-Wan, like Obi-Wan should have seen this coming based on everything that Anakin did and said.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion about that. I don't really understand all of it because they're like, well, some people saw clouds, but Qui-Gon Jinn saw him bringing balance, and then at the end of the movie, he kills the Emperor, which is kind of like, did he see that far?
Well, he did, yeah. So there's sort of the theory of did he bring balance, like he destroyed the Jedi, and then he destroyed the Sith.
It's true.
Because with killing himself, or letting himself die at the end, and killing the Emperor, no more Sith, no more Jedi. But Luke wasn't really fully formed yet, I guess, so...
That's true. He was more of a...
Took what, 40 years of galaxy time for the Jedi to start really coming back after that.
Right.
So I don't know.
Which, if you're a Star Wars fan, most people don't like to talk about it because the newer movies kind of suck.
Yeah, the newer movies. I think Force Awakens was good. Last Jedi played with some interesting ideas, and then Rise of Skywalker was just like somehow Palpatine's back.
Yeah, that was weird. That is one thing I would like to do, though. They do Star Wars role-playing games.
Yeah,
I don't know if you played that. I would definitely want to do that.
That was one of the ones that our buddy, who's going to be the next DM, was throwing out there as a suggestion. Like, do you guys want to do something more Game of Thrones-y, more Star Wars-y, more,
I mean, you can also do smaller books. Like, you could just do Star Wars for a couple months and see if you like it. Like, there's so many other systems. I still like the 5th edition. I'm a medieval person. I always like that more. even more than like Star Wars, even though I love Star Wars. So I like that. Or like there's new ones, like there's a ton of them for just TV shows that people watch, like the Avatar, if you liked Avatar The Last Airbender. Yeah, so like I know my one friend, they're taking a break from one of their games and they're going to play like a 4-session campaign of an Avatar one, and yeah.
Dang.
So, no, it sounds cool, and that's one thing that's fun. I just understand, I just 5th edition seems to go mostly with medieval stuff, and that's kind of what I always liked a bit more in that fantasy realm. But I know a lot of people like. So what about? Did you like more medieval stuff, or do you like more Star Wars stuff? Because I actually don't even know. I feel like we always just kind of watched it, whatever.
I mean, I like it all.
Yeah.
I could go for any of it. I think we watched Game of Thrones at least, was it the last 2 episodes when we were here? And we watched together when, like, the show really was ending. I know we watched the finale together.
You and I?
Yeah, at your buddy's house.
You were there for that?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. At Eric's house?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
And I remember it was kind of a buzzkill. We were all like...
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, like, the first 6 or so seasons of that show...
Yeah.
Like, can't get much better than that.
Oh, yeah. It was really awesome.
And I've had a lot of fun playing the medieval storyline we've been playing. So, I'd be definitely down to keep doing that. I mean, I like Star Wars also, so I'd be open to trying something like that. So...
Hell yeah.
I feel like you can't go wrong. It's the heart of the game of just the role playing and kind of shooting the shit with friends, and
that's the best part of it. That's why I fell in love with the games. Is just it's so fun to just shoot the shit, but like in different characters. And I like making. I don't know how your like Pete friends do it, but like I like making voices, even though if they're bad, and I like doing it. It's just fun to just mess around like that.
Yeah, our DM is the only one who really does like kind of different voices, but he does it like for all the different characters that we encounter.
Right.
To like do goofy little accents and stuff. I don't think any of our like basic characters have some sort of weird voice or mannerism, but
yeah,
might have to introduce that for the next character.
I would say
get a little wild.
There's no pressure. You don't have to do it, but I've also spoken to people. I've spoken to, people from Scotland and England on this show, and I confirm with every out of country person. I was like, do you do bad American accents how we do bad other country accents? And they say yes, absolutely.
Nice.
So always I tell people, rest assured, somewhere while you're trying that British accent, somewhere there's some Brit doing a terrible Texas accent. Yeah. And I'm sure for them, like, we don't do the difference, like,
the different dialects.
Dialects. Yeah, every American might sound like a Texan out there. Like, we don't know what's going on. So
to them, we all sound
as long as you're not being crazy offensive, like, I think you're okay. You told us about the break out of jail story. Do you have any other, like, we could do, like, one more story if you haven't, like, one more of your favorite stories?
Sure. Yeah. Let me think about what's a good one to tell.
Yeah, no question.
So, okay, I'll tell. One of the original NPCs that we met, this is going to kind of tie into the break out of jail story. So one of the original NPCs that we met was this guy named Grodog.
Okay.
He rented us some horses to go fight the dragon, and him and I just did not, or he was a nice guy, but I didn't like him. I don't remember why I didn't like him, but I was very anti-Grodog when we were renting horses from him.
Okay.
And so we go off, we fight the dragon. Dragon ends up eating his horses.
Okay.
We come back, and he's pissed.
Right.
And me and him fight, and he ended up knocking me out, and I was pretty pissed off about it.
Okay.
Even though we, like, totally were in the wrong. Like, we rented his horse, they died.
Right.
And then when we came back, he was like, well, you should pay for them as if you bought them because they died. I'm not getting them back. That's not really renting.
I'm pretty sure you just don't get your deposit back, is usually how that...
Yeah, but he wanted us to pay him.
No, they didn't come with insurance or anything. It wasn't a rent-a-car. It wasn't Hertz version of horse rentals.
No, I guess not. But fast forward, we're in jail, and Grodog was part of the group that came to rescue us.
All right.
And then, I got to learn a little bit more about his backstory. He was a widower. And now I'm the only one in the group who is pro Grodog.
Oh, okay.
Now everybody else doesn't like Grodog because he always crashes our party and then does something stupid and gets us into a fight. But now Grodog's my best friend.
But everyone's got one of those friends.
So
yeah.
And he reminds me a lot of my buddy from college, Frankie, who just is constantly getting in trouble and saying something super unfiltered to the wrong person at the wrong time. It's
Grodog, Gordog?
Yeah, Grodog.
Grodog. Got it. Cool. Because I'll probably honor this episode for Team Grodog. Probably some. We'll figure out the clip for that.
Well, yeah. If you titled the episode something like Team Grodog,
yeah,
and my party members saw that, they would be very annoyed.
Okay,
they'd think it's hilarious. Or
maybe we'll do one. Maybe I'll have one of your buddies on in a couple months, and then they can fight the case, and we'll let the listener decide.
Yeah, pro Grodog.
We're right now. You heard it here, folks. You had to be there as pro Grodog. We'll see what happens if we find out more. Thanks for doing this last minute. Been
my
nuts,
pleasure.
but
yeah,
this
thanks
was
for having me.
Absolutely. I'll do my thanks anyone hanging out with my cousin and I while we talk about some D&D stories. This one was a little more lax, but definitely a lot of fun. If you want to be a guest on the show, you don't have to be my cousin. You can just shoot me an email at youhadtobethere@dndpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @TDecilisComedy. That's where I tweet out stuff about regular comedy shows or going live on Twitch, talking D&D stories and all those fun episodes. My intro, the music for my intro was created by Michael James McGarry. You can follow him on it's MJ Made on SoundCloud or Instagram. And the logo for my show was created by Nicole Summers from the Reliably Chaotic Podcast. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.